Hey everyone, this is Kevin with Kevin's Microfleet. Today I've got a Micro Galaxy Squadron review. We're going to be taking a look at the Series 7 Scout Class collection. We're going to take a look at the figures, at the vehicles, at the accessories. We'll look at the packaging, we'll do some measurements, and we'll do a comparison. Let's go ahead and dive into the review. Now, I'm super excited to be able to bring this review to everybody so early with the Series 7 Scout Class. So this is one where these are all blind boxes that come in a larger PDQ, which we actually haven't got at this point. So right now, the only place to really get these is on Amazon. There's a third-party seller that actually has these at a little bit higher price than whatever the common prices for these actually at retail. Roughly $8 to $10, like $8.50 to $10 per Scout Class box. Historically, these have had a very high chase to rare percentage. So as we've gotten these over the course of the last few series, I think really from series 4 and on, and even back at series 3, I think they were kind of sprinkling them in. The chase to rare percentage is roughly about 40% for the getting a chase and or a rare in one of the 3-packs. So while it is a little bit more expensive, if you're one that doesn't want to have to run around all over retail stores to be able to try to find the cases and find a fresh case to be able to grab those, this is a great opportunity to be able to pick them up. Fortunately, I was able to complete the entire set all with one purchase. So I got 2 of these as a 6-pack, and it came with everything that you see right here. So I'm excited to be able to go through these and talk about them. Now, we haven't seen the actual PDQ for this yet that's come out in stores, which is the display box, that's what it's called. And so I don't actually have that to be able to look at, although I will say that similar to what we've seen with the Series 7 stuff, it is kind of a generic blue looking background, kind of like you're seeing here, where it's there isn't any artistic design really on it like we've seen with previous series where you get a chance to see a scene and a bunch of the vehicles that come in that series. So that is not on there, but that's that. There is on these specific boxes that you get through the third-party seller on Amazon, they do come with the 2 different languages on here. I don't believe that I've seen that on just the common releases that we tend to get, although it's possible that we'll now see that with some of these packages. Again, I don't know that offhand since these have come out before it's actually hit retail. On the side of the box, we get a chance to see the different vehicles that come in this series. So you can see that there are 6 items that come in this. They have changed this. Previously, there had been 8. There were 5 common vehicles. There were 2 rare vehicles, which is 1 of 15,000, and 1 chase, 1 of 5,000. They have now changed that as of Series 6. There are only 6 vehicles total. You get 4 common vehicles that, there could be a bunch of those in one of these blind boxes or blind box cases. And then you're going to get 1 rare and 1 chase vehicle. So 1, which is going to be 1 in 15,000, and 1 that's going to be 1 in 5,000. So as we look at the bottom of the box, again, this is a change that they had. You can see this is actually Durge and his speeder bike on the side of the box. They had been using this to be able to display the actual chase vehicle, the 1 in 5,000. Again, that changed from a couple series ago. I think that changed actually at Series 5. So Series 5, 6, and then this series, they're all not really that, which is totally fine. It doesn't make that big of a difference to me. But originally, when we saw Durge as a possible opportunity for a figure and vehicle, that was actually at Celebration in 23, early 2023, and he was supposed to be one of the chaser rares. Fortunately, they didn't do that because Durge is awesome. So either way, let's go ahead and dive into them. So we're going to go with the common vehicles first. So let's go ahead and start here with Sabine. This is another, the team at Jazwares has been really stepping up their game with the quality of these vehicles, the paint application, the figures. This is this is at retail a $5 figure. So you get this cool stand it comes on, you get the speeder bike, and you get the amazing figure. Now, this was one where everybody was kind of thinking, okay, when I originally saw this speeder, it was right at the very beginning of when Ahsoka, the ads came out, and Sabine was riding on this bike, and I was like, oh, well, they're definitely going to do that for sure. But are we going to get a Sabine that's actually riding it with the helmet, or are we going to get one that's just the typical Sabine Mandalorian? And thank goodness they didn't do that. So the quality of the figure looks amazing. You've got the hair there on her. You got the boots. As we turn it around here, you got the logo on the side. The helmet has different colors. You got the hair on the back. The figure looks amazing. Very, very good job. And the paint application on the bike looks really cool as well. This is such a cool vehicle to have. If we look at just the size of Sabine, she is just about an inch there. And then if we look at the size of the actual speeder, it is 2 1/4, a little more than 2 1/4, almost 2.5 inches. Now, as we move along with this, I'm going to just show a comparison as we're continuing along. Here is the Sabine's, or sorry, this is just the standard version of this bike, speeder bike. I don't know what this is called, like the AVA speed or something like that. And wow, so cool. I'm so pumped that they did this. This material here, this the maroon color is actually the maroon plastic. This is soft, so it's pretty easy to bend it around. Fortunately, with the blister pack, it came in great shape. Maybe a little bit of bending there at the front, but not enough that I'm too concerned about it. So now, as we keep moving along, we've got our Rex with his Bark Speeder and sidecar, which is sweet. The other thing that's really important about this is our first series or phase 2 clone mold that we're getting. It's kind of hard to tell there because they didn't really paint the rest of the front of the helmet. They just have the markings there on the front of his face, which makes him look like a phase 1 clone, even though the helmet is actually the phase 2 sculpt. And so Rex looks really good. He's got a bunch of different paint application there. He's got some lines on the elbows, on the side. I mean, just such a great job. They did the visor. They actually got the 2 little ears there on the front of the helmet to actually look really good also. And then you have your Bark Speeder with the sidecar. And this thing looks so cool. I actually have a 3D printed version of this that I've done for one of my displays. And I was thinking, gosh, I wonder how they're going to do it. And going through and looking at a bunch of the different deco options, to be able to do it with that little, where it's all maroon and then it has that white dot on there, looks fantastic. So there is that connector that's right there in the middle, which I'll actually take this thing off of here and show what that looks like. So here is the underside where you can see how that's all connected together, the legs and everything. This does not really come off. I'm sure that you could pull this thing off of here, but I don't believe it's intended to do that. I think it's stuck on there. But this looks really cool, and you've got this little gun here on the front, which is also awesome. You got the details there on the side, which looks really cool as well. They did such an awesome job with this. I hope that we're going to get more of these that have the sidecar in different colors like they're doing with the others. And just to compare our Rex figures, so here is our phase 2 versus our phase 1 clone version of Rex. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see a difference there in the helmet, and just the, his that thing around his chest. Yeah, all of it looks great. Definitely different, which is cool. So that is that. To do a couple measurements here. So measuring this guy front to back, this is about, again, a little more than 2.5 inches. side to side is roughly an inch. And that is that. So now we'll go ahead and move on to one of our brand new sculpts, which is really cool. This was something that was totally a surprise. I was not expecting to get anything from the Acolyte, but we get Jedi Master Kalnaka with whatever this speeder bike is, which looks awesome. And this is really cool to see because it's rare that we're going to get a figure like this that just cannot be reused at any point in the line. But who knows, maybe we're going to get an Acolyte vehicle that will actually have Kalnaka reused in it. But amazing job with the sculpt there on the figure as well as the paint application. So he actually does have a face, which is incredible to see. You can see his lightsaber there on his hip. Very, very good job. And then with the speeder, the detail on the speeder is amazing. It is really, really cool. It's got maybe just a tiny bit of a wash on it, but you can see the paint application there on the fin here on the back of it as we kind of turn it around to this side. It does look like that fin maybe got put on there the wrong way, or it doesn't quite sit exactly parallel, which is not that big of a deal, but the detail on it looks really nice. This is pretty back heavy, actually. When you set this thing down on the table, it does want to tip back on you. Fortunately, this little piece that sticks out of the side of the speeder or the stand helps to keep it upright. But that is really cool. I don't know what this speeder is called. I'm sure we'll find it when they actually release the collector's guide, though. So this is about the same, like 2.5 inches or so. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide. And then if we're looking at the height of this, it is 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. The figure is actually going to be just slightly more than an inch, which is great to see that they scale him just a little bit bigger, as he is a bigger character. Then we've got my favorite. This is one I've been waiting for a long time, which is Durge. So if you don't know who Durge is actually a major villain in the Clone Wars 2003 cartoon version, which is so unique. If you have never seen it, I would highly recommend you watch it. You know, there's 20 some episodes. They're relatively short, probably 8 to 10 minutes each, but it is really, really cool. They did an amazing job here with the sculpt on this figure. The detail there on his chest, as well as his face. You can see here as we turn him around to the side on the back. Again, amazing job there with the sculpt on the back. This is just so cool. I'm so happy that we got this. I actually have a 3D printed Clone Wars display I put together of the actual battle with the clone Lancers, and I've been waiting for him to be able to complete it. You can see here is his speeder. He's got this really cool skull there on the front, as well as these bones there on the front of the speeder. And this is another one where it's a very unique speeder that will likely not get reused again. So I am really excited that they actually made this a common, because I'm going to need a couple of these for a couple different displays that I have in mind. But really incredible job there on Durge. So excited to be able to see some really obscure characters and vehicles come out of this line. So let's see how tall he is. He is definitely more than an inch, which is great because he's massively huge in the actual show. And then here it is about 2 inches from front to back. I mean, look at the detail there on the front of that. That is so cool. What a great job. I mean, I didn't even notice that detail until I just started doing this review. So anyways, and there we go, just about an inch tall. So those are all your common vehicles that you're going to get. Nothing really to compare these two guys to because they're so unique. So then we get to our chase and our rare. So the rare is going to be this blue guy, or like, I'd call it maybe an aqua color. There's Sergeant General, something like that. I don't know, or Lieutenant. I don't know exactly what the actual name of the figure is, but this is our aqua version. And so this is really just the same as what we're getting with our other Bark Speeder clones. This is our Phase 1 clone. You can see he's got the dots there on his chest, as well as he's got all of this here on the side of the bike which looks really nice. If you know what this guy is called and you want to comment in the comments, please feel free to do that. But yeah, this guy looks really nice. Very cool color to be able to add to all of our other clones, which I'll show here in just a second. Not really a whole lot more than that. The bark speeder is the same size as the bark speeder for Rex's speeder. And then you get the yellow clone. So, excuse me. So this one, he has the dots on his chest as well, but it's very difficult to see just because the color is so light. The speeder bark speeder looks really cool. The helmet looks awesome. So not really a whole lot other than that. And so if we actually just line up all of our clones here that we got, we'll move all of our commons here back in the back. And so we get a chance to see you got our yellow, our aqua, red, green, and then we have our common. So it is really cool that they've actually decided to do this. It does make total sense that they're making these clones the chase and the rares, because to spend the money to be able to make the sculpts that they're doing here for the common vehicles, makes sense to be able to get as many of those out there as you possibly can, and just use repaints as the chase and rares that are going to be more difficult to find. And let's go ahead and swing, here we go. So there's our Rex in there as well. Tons of clones. I'm glad that they're doing that, because they have a lot of vehicles where you need clones to be able to fill them out. Again, I would highly recommend, if you're interested in getting all 6 of the different options, that you take a look at the Amazon ones that are out there. Again, there is a link in the description below, where you can go to my Amazon storefront to be able to find that link, so that way you can go ahead and pick up these 3 packs. You know, again, if you don't want to pay the premium for it and you want to try and find them in stores, for sure you can wait around until they pop up. But if you don't really feel like running around to all the stores and hoping that you grab the box that has one of those in it, I would say just pick them up off of Amazon and save yourself the gas money. Either way, that is your review of the Series 7 Scout class. Thanks everybody for tuning in this long, and I look forward to catching everybody on the next review.